Greetings everyone, I'm Richard and welcome to Contra Thoughts. This is episode 6, Discrimination for Thee and Not for Me. Up next. All right, we've got our flavor of the day. NCAA Board of Governors Statement on Transgender Participation. This is from April 12th, just about over a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago now. NCAA Board of Governors firmly and unequivocally, this is how they do this, unequivocally supports the opportunity for transgender student athletes to compete in college sports. Okay. This commitment is grounded in our values of inclusion and fair competition. Okay, so just let me pause right there. Inclusion and fair competition. Keep that in your mind. Because of course, we're all made in God's image. The scripture clearly says that. The materialistic worldview says we're not, and says we're actually different races fighting for struggle. This was Darwin's thesis. This is many others as well. There is no real God. There is no supernatural. There is no transcendent. There is no transcendentals. There is no right or wrong, really. There's just kind of blah, blah, just stuff. We're just all molecules and so on. But they want inclusion and fair competition. Okay, that's fair. That sounds good. I think we all would want that, just in a general statement. The NCAA is long-standing policy that provides a more inclusive path for transgender participation in college sports. Our approach, which requires testosterone suppression treatment for transgender women, that's men who are saying they're women, to compete in women's sports, embracing the evolving science on the issue, and is anchored in participation policies of both the International Olympic Committee and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. So they're saying, hey, it's not just us, there's other people too. We're not the weirdos only, there's other people too. Inclusion and fairness can coexist. This is just making a statement. For all student athletes, including transgender athletes at all levels of sport. Okay. Well, the problem is, it gets a little bit deeper. You have people who say, men who say they're women, they're now allowing people, this statement here is allowing, and further statements, men, biological men, to not only share the bathrooms, but also the locker rooms. And not just that, also hotel rooms for when they're competing, matches, games, that sort of thing. So men, but their testosterone suppression. Doesn't say anything about mutilation or removal of genitals, okay? Which doesn't make you a man or a woman, by the way. Your skeletal structure is part of that. Your personality is part of that. Your soul that God made you is part of that. So you can't just remove one thing or block testosterone or raise estrogen and be like, yeah, we're good. As if it's that easy to become a woman. And this is not only sexist and hyper discriminatory against people who, are actually women. I don't want my daughters sleeping in a bed or near someone else who is a man who says he's a woman. Oh, that's not inclusive. What about them? What about the females who are actually female, who are actually wanting to participate in actual sports? There are multiple people, not just Christians, not just people of the right, quote unquote, but common sense people who are saying, especially women, feminists, and so on, saying this is preposterous. And there's already been multiple high school and college tournaments, awards, records broken by men who say they're women. Boys who say they're girls. Boys who cannot seemingly compete in the boys' realm, the men's realm, but can easily trash and destroy females. But that's why we have female and men's sports, because people are different. We're not the same. And this is the egalitarian line. Egalitarianism says everybody's equal. That same notion applied to government is communism. That same notion applied to, say, the church is, well, men and women can both be pastors, they can both be elders, they can do whatever, it just doesn't really matter if you got trained or something, that's maybe your only requirement. But that's not what the scripture says. We are determining where championships are held, and this is where the discrimination lies. So they're saying right now, when determining where championships are held, NCAA policy directs that only locations where hosts can commit to providing an environment that is safe, healthy, and free of discrimination should be selected. Again, they're discriminating against actual females by saying, even if you don't want to sleep in the same bed with this boy who says he's a girl, who just changed his name and now grew out his hair, is that as if that's the only thing that makes you a female? Like, it's not. It's not. Suppressing hormones, changing your name, mutilating your body, having everyone around you say that you're a female doesn't change you. It just doesn't. And there's so many commonsensical principles that, quite frankly, most of these people don't actually believe the lies that are being promulgated. The problem is they want people, common sense people, they want Christians, they want Orthodox Roman Catholics and Orthodox Jews, by the book Muslims and other people who are just conservative and they say, I don't think so. They want us to say, no, we want you to believe this. Because if they can get us to believe that, they can get us to believe anything. Just like 2 + 2 is 5. When it's really 4. It's never going to be 5 or 10 or 4,000. It's just not. But what they're doing here, the NCAA, is clearly being discriminatory. They're clearly being prejudicial by saying, well, those women over here, they need to accept this. And if they don't, we're going to discriminate against them. This is how the tolerance crowd works. We will continue to closely monitor these situations to determine whether NCAA championships can be conducted in ways that are welcoming and respectful for all participants. Again, what about the girls who are in the locker room, showering, naked, and there's a boy in there who's actually a boy pretending to be a girl, but he doesn't even have, well, any of the surgery, because that's not required. It's literally just hormones and certain levels of suppression, as if that's the only requirement to be a man or a woman. You really, fathers, you really want your daughters, 20-year-old daughters, hormone-crazed 20-year-olds or 15-year-olds, sharing locker rooms, sharing bathrooms, and sharing hotel rooms? Are you for real? Anybody at the NCAA, I don't know who is paying your salary, but it's clearly not the American people. It's clearly not. I don't even think it's the Democrats, certainly not the Republicans. It's got to be something else, somewhere else, causing division, seeking to destroy our republic, seeking to destroy and erode common sense. Because this isn't happening all over the world. This is only happening in certain places in the West. Does this happen in Africa? Is this happening in China? Does this happen in North Korea or Russia? Not a chance. This is just one example of many more where we need to understand as Christians to be against the world, but for the world's sake. That's my goal for you. I desire to show you how you can be against the world for the sake of the world. Not just to balk it and boycott it, but ask the question. The NCAA is being discriminatory. They are forcing their worldview on other people. What about the actual natural-born women? Are they less people now? They're lesser value because boys are now saying they're women? But my desire, again, is to help you be against the world for the sake of the world. This has been Contra Thoughts, episode 6. Please check out some of the other videos as well, as I post a few times a week. Until next time, be against the world for the sake of the world. Take care.